I'm glad somehow or another we made it to the same spot. This is, of course, our annual remembrance for the victims of Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Hold on. We got some folks floating in. Well, wait a minute here. Come on in. Well, this is our crew that was redirecting everybody, I believe.
And thank you.
Yes. That was nicely done. Okay, everybody. There's plenty of seats over here. We might have to, go back in this corner. We'll make sure everybody's sitting down. No reason for standing. And if we need more chairs, we'll bring more chairs. All right, well, welcome. I'm Kelly Mulholland. I'm the Vice President of OMNI. This is a long-going annual event, and I appreciate your patience in dealing with our change of venue at the very last moment. I assure you I had absolutely nothing to do with that decision. So if it doesn't rain, it wasn't my fault. Nothing to do with it. But this is a very important event. Tonight our theme is Morality and War, a New Future for All. And I've been out of town this weekend, and I came home, and I walked in the door, and I got this very strange phone call. And it was a gentleman who was not real happy. He wanted to know about this event, and somehow my number was provided for this event. And so he said he wanted to know whether there were Japanese students going to be here, and I said, well, yes, there are. They're part of the ceremony today. And he said, well, what kind of names are you reading? And then I said, well, we're reading the names of deceased people from the victims, from the Hiroshima bombing. And he said, well, can I have equal time? He said, I want to read the names of people that lost their lives in of course, in Pearl Harbor. And it was an interesting conversation. I tried my best to stay level-headed, and it didn't get out of hand, although he did end up hanging up on me. But you know what it did is it reminded me of how important this is. Because there's still a lot of people that have a lot of bitterness about this and a lot of confusion. Because the two things are not really comparable. I told him that I was very, very, very much mourn the loss of the people at Pearl Harbor. And those names could very well be read today, and it might be appropriate, but that's not what we have planned today. But really, there's nothing in our history that's quite like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. An attack on civilians of that scale is unprecedented. And it also reminds me, another reason I think this is important that was not kind of in our current events is not so long ago, our president was in Hiroshima there to be there for the celebration, or not celebration, but remembrance. And there was all this talk about, and he felt, obviously he had his hands tied, he was not allowed to apologize for this horrendous act. And that really hurt me deeply. I feel like that would go so far, just a simple apology. But we're not even there. And that's why we're here. And I appreciate everybody being here again, year after year. We have to be vigilant about this stuff. They're already talking about nuclear arms again in the news, and whether we're going to use them or not, or whether it's off, I'm not going to get off on that. We have a wonderful list of speakers today, and we're going to start off with a prayer that we've started off with a few times over the years that my wife and I wrote. Actually, very strangely enough, this is, by the way, a wonderful part of the tradition. The Kaminskys have brought this peace train since the beginning of time, and it's become a very important part of the thing, and I'm so happy to see it show up. But when Hank Kaminsky was just about to finish his peace sphere, the great peace sphere at the town center, one of the things we should be really proud of in this town. Don and I were given the great honor of going inside of it. There's a hatch in the bottom, little did you know. And before they brought it over to the town center, and we got to go inside and we played music and we wrote a song inside there. And of course the lyrics are what's written on it, which is "May peace prevail on earth." And I would like to ask Don to come up, and also we have some other musicians that are going to help us throughout the evening, Jenny and Ansel Ogle. please come on up. Let's join us. You can help us out on this, and we need everybody here. This is to cover the traditional part of our program, which is a prayer. We like to start with a prayer, but this is just a secular prayer with the words, "May peace prevail on earth." Very simple, and we'll do a little rehearsal. Okay? We'll sing it. May peace prevail on earth, on earth. May peace prevail on earth, on earth. You okay? And just keep going every time. You ready? May peace prevail on earth, on earth. May peace prevail on You'll hear more from him when that's over. All right, I'll get all this stuff off and move it along here. So this is, I'm really excited to have the participation of the Japanese Student Association this year. And they're going to help us with a couple of different parts. But the president is going to help us really with a welcoming. And so I would like to introduce to you Taiki Shibamoto to the stage. He's the president of the association.
Thank you. It was really a nice song.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to put that on my iPod. So okay. It is such an honor to meet all of you and to be here as a president of JSA, Japanese Student Association at University of Arkansas. Before I begin my speech, I would like to thank for this opportunity to cooperate with the OMNI Center for Peace, Justice, and Ecology, and clearly mention that our Japanese Student Association will never orient ourselves toward any political stances by participating in these events. The main purpose of this event, Morality and War, a New future for all is that not only would we like to mourn the annihilation of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but globally pursue nuclear zero. Today there are going to be poetry, music, and reading of the names of the victims at Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings, and an exhibition of one of Japanese traditions at this event. I hope this will be a wonderful opportunity for everyone to share our thoughts. As many of all of you are already aware of, the history has been greatly changed with the existence of nuclear power. While it has provided a lot of countries with their source of various types of energy, it has been used at wars to demolish cities and take away people's lives. As for World War II in particular, on August 6th in 1945, an atomic bomb was dropped onto the land of Hiroshima, a western prefecture of Japan. And 3 days later, another bombing occurred in Nagasaki, or further west in Japan. An estimated 140,000 and more than 70,000 people, respectively, died because of the nuclear blast and the impact of radiation. Again, this is not to weigh in the discussion between people who support either country involved in the war, but the important thing for us to remember is that we lost a number of human lives, and that those incidents can happen in any other place on the planet and at any point in the future. We hope that there are many people who will understand our idea, so we would like all of you to enjoy this event and take a little time to think about this matter through this event. Thank you for coming again, and enjoy this event, please.
That's one of my favorite parts of this, working on this particular year's event, was getting to meet a friendship with Taiki. He's been a great contributor to our committee and helpful in organizing everything. So the next part we have up is another part of the annual tradition, and some person I much admire, our own mayor, to do the proclamation. Mayor Lionel Jordan, please.
Before I read the proclamation, I'd just like to say a few words. It's always an honor and a privilege for me to be in the midst of you all and to think about how you fight for peace every day, not only just in the city, but in the world. And it's always an honor and a privilege for me to be with you, because I have such respect and honor for you and the stands that you take for peace throughout the world. Now, accordingly, I bring the following proclamation. But before I do that, I just want to say one more thing. This morning I was reading Lao Tzu, and he said, though you may be in the midst of the storm, if you will stay calm and peaceful in the midst of the storm, you will find a way out of that storm. And that way is always love. And if you take that path, others will follow. And that's what you do. You take that path of love. And you stay calm and peaceful in the midst of all the chaos and confusion that we see around us in the world today. And if you keep doing that, others will follow you. And we'll have a better nation and world. Accordingly, I bring the following proclamation. Whereas since 1979, citizens of Fayetteville have gathered annually at the University of Arkansas around the anniversary of the nuclear bomb of Hiroshima and Nagasaki to remember the loss of life and the destruction caused by wars. Whereas the proliferation of nuclear weapons and missile defense systems throughout the world costs hundreds of billions of dollars, and estimates of nuclear waste disposal costs are upwards to $50 billion. And whereas the 20th century has witnessed the development of new skills in conflict resolution, international peacekeeping, and a burgeoning human rights system. encouraging the hope that our culture can become one of promoting peace and constructive cooperation. And whereas the United Nations General Assembly seeks individual commitment via the Manifesto 2000 to make this decade a time to transform the culture of war and violence into a culture of peace and nonviolence. Whereas the Manifesto 2000 further states that each individual may share in his or her responsibility for the future of humanity, in particular to our children of today and tomorrow. Yes. And whereas this year marks the 71st anniversary of the first bomb that was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, now therefore I, Lionel Jordan, Mayor of the city of Fayetteville, Arkansas, do hereby proclaim August 14th, 2016 as a day of remembrance of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Fayetteville, and encourage each of us to honor our peacemakers and renew our commitment to the prevention of such suffering in the future. OMNI, keep pushing for peace.
Are we lucky to have him? You almost have to pinch yourself to have a mayor like that. That's amazing. Well, okay. So we have a wonderful poetry offering for you, and you know this. I'm really happy to tell you that OMNI UA, the university chapter of OMNI, is back in action and doing good work. And we have representatives from OMNI UA helping us today. In fact, we're going to start off right here with the Vice President of OMNI UA, Shane White, who's going to read a poem for us.
Thank you everyone for coming out. It's a pleasure to be a part of this. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Today I'm going to be reading a poem by T. Merrill. It was written after in remembrance from Hiroshima and the Nagasaki bombings. It's titled, You Who Read No Calm. You who read no calm reportings of alien, distant, dire events, but shriek and keen as love goes down, beyond all help to violence, whose temple walls, storm-struck and split by sizzling bolts, collapse around, while amid the crash of chaos hope whirls in the death spin to the ground. You who alone in deep distress cry out for help where there is none. All you, whom I shall never know, I know a portion nonetheless of cruel trials you undergo. Killers in many guises come, sudden as electric shock, or looming ghostly as a shark, leisurely finning towards its mark. I who breathless and sweating once wrestled devil to the floor, and saw him rise again and finished what he had begun before. I, who relearned each child of prayer, forgotten to the stars once more, send up a poor and hopeless plea for a spirit's peace beyond despair.
Thank you very much, Shane. That's beautiful. So we have a song for you. I stumbled on a song. Could I bring the band back up? Jean and Ansel and Donna. We're going to be here for the next song. So this, I stumbled upon a song that, we've been doing this so many years, and I thought I'm going to run out of really good songs that are very, focused on this particular issue. And Low Voltage is one I've been overlooking for a long time. It's not by Pete Seeger. It was transcribed by Pete Seeger. He came up with the melody, but it was a poem by a Turkish man named Nazim Hikmet, and it's called "I Come and Stand at Every Door." It's a very, very touching poem. Let me grab my instrument. I suppose this might require some explanation. This is a quattro, and this is the Puerto Rican national instrument. And I just got it recently, and the reason I'm using it, I was looking needed to learn the words to the song, so I looked at the internet, and I noticed that the Byrds had done this song. A beautiful, the Byrds, I didn't realize that. They did a beautiful version of this song, and they got that. They had 12-string stuff, so it just seemed like the right instrument for this. There you are. Okay. Everybody ready? I come and stand at every door. So this next portion, I'm really very thankful again to have the Japanese Student Association, because we're going to combine the reading of the names of victims, which is something we do annually, with a ceremony, a very beautiful ceremony. Now the ceremony is going to have to be somewhat abbreviated because we're not where we were going to be. We were going to use the peace fountain as our water source. So you'll have to use your imagination just a little bit, but that'll be fine. But we're very fortunate to have 4 members of the Japanese Student Association help us with this, to read the names. So I'll mention their names first. So we have Kenichi Sarazawa, we have Anneli Ulrich, and again Taiki Shibamoto, which you've already met, and then Eric Rowe is going to help as well with the the lanterns. And I think it'd be better to let Taiki explain this. It's called the Obon ceremony. And of course, we'll combine that also with the traditional bell ringing and the reading of the names and a brief description of who this person was, so that they're more than just a name. And maybe ask everybody to think about this person deeply and kind of put yourself in their shoes and think about their legacy. Without further ado, may I invite you all up, and I'll let Taiki give you a little more information about this ceremony. And by the way, I should very much thank Karen Takamoto for her role in designing the Obon lanterns for us. So Taiki.
Hello again. So the Obon ceremony is one of the Japanese traditions, as I said before, and it's in the middle of August. It's a time to honor the deceased and the ancestors. And Obon celebrates the liberation of the soul with floating lanterns, which is in the back, and symbolizing the journey to the immortal world. But unfortunately, we can't float them on the water today. But yeah, we're just gonna bring them to the table so you can see them. And it's gonna be the reading of the names. There are gonna be 13 names of the victims of 2 bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those are from John Hersey's book, Hiroshima, and a collection of the drawings, which is called Unforgettable Fire. And then I'd like to introduce these 3 people. In the back, there's Eric Rowe from the Japanese Student Association. And then here's Only Oleg, which is also a Japanese Student Association member. And then here's Kanichi Serizawa, who is one of the former presidents of JSA. So let's get started.